Right then everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about dumpster diving and is it legal to dumpster dive in the UK? In this video we'll be discussing some of the legalities behind dumpster diving and some of the do's and don'ts when you're out and about rooting through them bins. Watch the video and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. Right then everyone, let's get straight into it. I've got my notes. So dumpster diving, if you're watching this video, then you obviously either watch people dumpster diving on YouTube, you either do it yourself, or you're a bit scared to but want to give it a go, or you just enjoy watching it in general. So we're going to start talking about bits of like the do's and don'ts, whether it's legal, illegal, things you should look out for and things like that. But first of all, dumpster diving in general. What does the term mean? What is dumpster diving? So, dumpster diving comes from an American term, and all it means is basically rooting through commercial bins to try and save items from landfill. Now, these could be from shops like supermarkets, charity shops, and even just sort of kitchen and bathroom places, you know, in industrial units and things like that. They'll either have the big commercial skips outside, or like the red biffer bins and things like that you've probably seen. And yeah, some of us like to root through them to try and find items to either reuse or sell and upcycle, sell online at car boots, on Vinted, places like that, redonate to other charity shops that might have a use for them and things like that. So basically, dumpster diving, the do's and don'ts. So we're going to work through them. I'm going to have a bit of a discussion, and yeah, hopefully it kind of flows. If you do have any questions regarding anything throughout the video, just hit pause, get your question down in the comments and come straight back and hit play. So when you if you are interested in giving dumpster diving a go, the main thing really is just to be safe. Don't do anything that will put you in any harm, any danger, or any other members of the public or anything like that. So that is the number one priority. If it's not safe, don't do it. If something's telling you in your head that it's not safe, then give it a miss. When it comes to the legal side of it, the do's and don'ts. So I say to myself, only go to the commercial bins that are easily accessible by the public. Maybe they're not behind fences or anything like that, not behind gates, locked gates. They're just sort of on the public path, you know, easily accessible. What you don't want to be doing is breaking into any private land, because this totally changes things when you are sort of breaking and entering. It becomes a legal offence. You don't want to be climbing any walls, because that could see as breaking and entering. You don't want to be breaking any padlocks off, obviously. Fences and gates, you know, if it's gated, then just leave it and don't attempt to break in or anything like that. And that sort of comes mainly into the big sort of legal side of it. A lot of people are saying it's legal. You're, you know, saving items from landfill, you're not breaking into any premises, and the companies have thrown them out in the skip. They've disregarded ownership of them items and they are free to take. There's lots of people that do it. I don't know of anyone that's been locked up through doing it, because there isn't really an offence that would be classed as that they would be able to use is dumpster diving. People say it's stealing and theft by finding and things like that. So that's the counter argument. But yeah, and if you are going onto private land, even that's not sort of illegal in a sense. It's classed as a civil matter between you and the owner of the land. So, you know, just be polite. Personally, well, I know a lot of people sort of, if they get confronted, kind of put up a bit of a fight. Personally, I can't be doing with that. I've never been confronted myself, But if I am being confronted on private land and I'm asked to move on, then I'll finish what I'm doing and move on. I'm not going to make a fuss, make an argument. I'll explain what I'm doing, explain that I'm doing it for good, you know, saving items from landfill and giving them an extra life. What else have I got on my list? So, if you do want to give it a go, if it's sounding tempting so far, get out and about and just check out some of your local locations. Have a drive around or a walk around. If you're not driving and you've not got a car, you can still go dumpster diving without a car, whether you're on a bike or just walking with a rucksack even. You can still save some items. Yeah, check out your local areas, see where you think's good to go. And the best time to go would be quite early in the morning or late at night. So a lot of the places will be shut. You shouldn't have any aggro from any staff. And it will build up your confidence in a way, so that, you know, knowing that there's no one else around, it'll just build up your confidence to go out and give it a go. Another main point would be to be equipped and be prepared. There's no point just sort of thinking, yeah, I'm going to go dumpster diving, jump in my car or have a walk down, and you're not organised. So there are a few pieces of equipment that I highly recommend, which would be some thick gloves, because when you're ripping open bin bags, rooting through different items, you don't know if there's sharps in there, any blades, any glass, broken ceramics, things like that, depending on what kind of bins you go to. Again, if it's early in the morning or late at night, which I've recommended to go, you might want to take a bit of a light with you or a head torch. It's not so bad in the summer months, but in the winter I've got a beanie hat with a head torch in it, which comes in very handy because it frees up both your hands. You want to take something to store any items that you find. So whether it's some bags, it could just be, you know, your bags for life from the supermarket. Just keep some of them in a rucksack, or if you're in a car, have some trays or boxes, or again, IKEA bags, anything you use like that, keep them in your boot. If you're not gifted with much height, I know some people take a little hop up, little step stool kind of thing, just so you can get over and reach a bit more into the bin. But obviously be careful. These bins aren't designed to be climbing in and out of. I do go in a couple now and again myself, but I tend to be able to reach everything from the top, and yeah, have a bit of a route about. It's very rare that I need to get in a skip or in a bin. On that point as well, to reach right down the bottom, you can get the litter picker grabbers. Highly recommend one of them in your kit. Again, you can just keep it in the back of your car. And also, this is a bit of a grey area as well, but you can take a little key with you for bins. So a lot of these commercial biffa bins and things, they can actually be locked by the customer that's using the bin, but it's just a little triangle meter key, you know, for your electricity or gas meter, and they just lock them up. I think it's to stop people fly tipping and making a mess and things like that, but you can unlock it, have a quick look, lock up afterwards. And on that point as well, if you are going out dumpster diving, please try and leave it tidy when you're done. You know, tidier than when you got there. Even if it's a mess, tidy up after yourselves. If you are rooting through things and you're taking bags out, sometimes I take whole bags out so I can see what's underneath, and then put them back in and rip them open. Make sure you put everything back in the bin, have a bit of a tidy up, because if you don't, then the people in the shops or the supermarkets or the charity shops, wherever you're planning on going, will notice this. You know, they might start locking the bins, they might start putting gates and different signage up, and it's off-putting. So you don't want to ruin any good spots that you find. So what have we got? Go equipped, we've got that. Check out your locations before you go. Keep it tidy, or you got a risk of it getting gated and fenced off. Go early in the day or late at night. Be careful with glass and broken items, which we've discovered, and only go to bins that are accessible by the public, not breaking and entering. On the don'ts side of things, I've got, if you are sort of on private land and things like that, just be mindful of what's actually being disposed of and what's not. So I've put a little note, only take anything inside the bins. Say you go into an industrial yard kind of place, you know, some companies might have their stock out on pallets and things like that. Just be mindful of what is actually being disposed of, because that is the grey area between sort of stealing and theft and just dumpster diving in the commercial bins where the stuff is intended for landfill. Just bear that in mind. And in capitals I've put, don't put yourself in any danger, which is the first point that I covered. Moving on, if you are out and about dumpster diving, seeing what you can find, and you do get approached by people, whether it's members of staff, workers in the industrial unit place, or even other general public wanting to know what you're up to, just be kind and courteous and explain, you know, I'm doing something good for the planet here. Even get them to come over and have a look. Say, look, these shops are throwing out all this usable items. I can take these items and I can donate them to a local charity shop of mine, or, you know, use them in your own family, distribute them to friends and family. You might have young ones, you know, things like that. As long as the items are getting reused. All I would say, just also be mindful of what you are taking, and that you've actually got the space to store it yourself. You don't obviously want to become a hoarder or anything like that, but it can be quite easy that you see all this stuff being thrown out. I've tried to sort of cut down on what I do take, just because I can't deal with the amount of stock that I was getting from dumpster diving. So dumpster diving is just a small part of my sort of eBay business, if you like. Obviously I do car boots, charity shops, auctions, things like that. So it's just a small part of that. So I do need to be mindful of what I'm bringing back, that I can actually move it on fairly quickly. Most things are ideal, like car boot stock. Little things I'll just fill up bags and it's 50p a pound at car boot. You get the big hitter items that, if you are a regular viewer of my channel, I have put out previous dumpster diving videos and you'll see that I do find some nice decent stuff. But yeah, if you're approached, just be kind. If you're asked to move on, just say, yeah, I'm just going to finish with this bin, tidy up, and I'll be on my way. If they threaten to phone the police, just say, you know, well, you can't stop them from phoning the police, but just explain that there's nothing illegal going on and you don't want them to waste the police time. But again, you can't stop them. So if they turn up, just go through the procedure and just, again, explain to them what they're doing, what you're doing, sorry. Trespassing on private land, civil matter between you and the owner. If the police called, they can't arrest you but ask you to move on. We've covered that. Only take what you can use, donate, sell. Don't take everything if you can't store it. That's what I've just talked about. Oh yes, also, if you do eBay or do even just selling on Vinted or anything like that, when dumpster diving, normally you want to be looking in the general waste bins that a lot of like charity shops throw out, electronics and things like that, shoes, clothing, kids items, all in the general waste. But also have a look in the recycling bins. There's a few spots that I go to where I get tons and tons of flat pack boxes from like food manufacturers and things like that, and they are ideal for posting orders out on eBay. So it kind of comes the full circle. You're getting items from dumpster diving to sell, you're getting boxes from dumpster diving, and you're posting it all out and you've done a full circle. So just check your recycling bins, because packaging can cost a fortune if you're buying it for your business. So you might find boxes along the way, and generally the recycling bins are next to the general waste. So you're there anyway, have a quick peek, and no one's going to argue with you taking cardboard and saving some space in their bins. So I think we've covered a lot of information there in quite a short space of time. If you do need me to elaborate on anything else, please drop a comment, like I did tell you at the start. If you need any more information, I'll be happy to help the best I can. And yeah, go back onto my channel. I've done some dumpster diving videos. Give them a watch. Hopefully that encourages you to get out and give it a go yourself. And if you do, go out there and have fun. Enjoy it. See what you can find. If you find some decent items, you'll get a proper kick out of it. You'll want to go more and more. And at the end of the day, even if you're not taking anything that's got massive value, even if you're just reusing it yourself, then you're doing your bit for the environment and saving items from going to landfill. So if you do YouTube, take your camera with you, document your journey and get it uploaded and spread the word. Let's try and get as many people dumpster diving as we can. So there we go, guys. I hope that's been a good informative video covering the do's and don'ts with dumpster diving and explaining some of the legality side of it here in the UK. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.